So, Carol, how are people feeling about return to potential credit use after emerging from a bankruptcy or proposal? And are they finding it easier to rebuild credit in the current climate?
Thanks, Tina. I think generally we've seen that even before someone completes a proposal, especially, that are able to start rebuilding their credit. Um, and obviously, the biggest question we have oftentimes when people file a proposal is, am I ever going to be able to have a credit card again? And the answer is absolutely yes. Of course, when you're applying for credit after you've filed a proposal or a bankruptcy, your credit rating is going to be affected by that for a certain period of time. But there's other things that lenders consider when they're looking at whether or not to grant you credit. And of course, the credit rating is one thing, but they're also going to look at other things like what your income is. How long have you worked at that job? How stable is the income? If you're self employed, um, they'll also look at other things like whether you own any assets, such as real estate, or you have any investments. And so they're going to take in a number of factors when they're considering whether or not to grant you credit. And so that's going to also play into that decision. Um, we've even seen people that are in a proposal and have been able to obtain a mortgage, and actually, pay off the proposal with mortgage proceeds, during the course of the proposal. So again, it's going to depend on everyone's individual circumstances. Um, and also sometimes, like in that kind of situation with a mortgage, oftentimes people are applying with a co-borrower. And so that also makes a difference in terms of whether or not a lender is willing to lend to you. So, your life is not over in terms of obtaining credit. And I think often as well, people feel a lot more comfortable once they have been through the proposal process using credit, because they have learned some tips and tricks about how to be more responsible with it.
Some really great information there, Carol, especially about the mortgage, because myself, I get asked that all the time about, when will I be able to get a mortgage? So that seems to be first and foremost in people's minds for sure. Ryan, anything you want to add to that?
Sure, yeah, Tina. Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the question I get asked the most after filing a bankruptcy proposal is, how is it going to affect my credit? Am I going to get credit again? And how do I rebuild my credit? And a lot of individuals I'm finding are wanting to rebuild their credit quite quickly, whether it's a proposal or bankruptcy. And they do look at their credit score quite a bit, and they have lots of questions as to why is this showing as open in arrears, or why is my credit score still going down? So it's very prudent. It'll be very prudent for the individual to make sure they look at their credit score and then to take steps to get those inaccuracies fixed. Otherwise, their credit score will never go up. I am finding too that some individuals are quite nervous to obtain any kind of credit again after filing a proposal or bankruptcy, just because it kind of got them into trouble for, and they get in that cycle where you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, so to speak. So some are very nervous and apprehensive of getting any credit for a while, which is fine because they can still rebuild credit in other ways by having a cell phone account in their name and just making sure they pay that on time, as long as all the other debts are showing as including in a proposal or bankruptcy.